Hi, Happy New Year! And this is my best of 2023 video, which is only about makeup. And today is January the 1st, and I'm Chinese. It's a new year, so I thought it's only right if I wear like red. Even though for some reason this is looking a little bit more pink than red like on camera, but I really like this color. But let's begin. Last year, for the first 9 months, I didn't buy that much or at all new stuff because I believe in the first half of the year I just wasn't really wearing makeup that much. A lot of these are basically the second half of the year type of favorite. In some categories there are multiples, and in some categories there are none, and that's the nature of it. So first of all, base. I don't have any primer because I just don't use primer. Most primer do nothing for me. So let's start with foundation. I don't think this is very shocking, but this is the SUQQU The Foundation. It's the newest cream version of their foundation to replace their old one. The old one was my favorite foundation. I literally decluttered like 70 foundations and only kept that one. And now that one is done and I purchased this one, even though this is more expensive. But I feel like the formula isn't that much different, other than this one is a little thicker and has a touch more coverage. The finish of this is so beautiful. It's like so creamy on the skin, and even if you layer it a little bit on the more full coverage side, it still does not look heavy. It just looks so creamy, so smooth on your skin. It doesn't emphasize texture, at least on me. And yeah, and it wears off beautifully. I don't think it wears off as beautifully as this previous version, but this is discontinued, so and compared to other foundations, I still think this one wears off pretty nicely. For me, foundation doesn't have to clean on my face for like 12 hours. Not changing at all. That's not what I am asking for with the foundation. What I ask for is just not wear off like immediately, like 2 hours later it's off, or it's like wearing off very ugly. So for this one, I think the first 3-4 hours it just look perfect, and after that it wears off gradually, but it's never in a way that it's ugly. And a lot of times when it wears off, it just wears off evenly. It's the whole layer on your skin just gradually becomes thinner. So the coverage is actually still there and still even. If there's somewhere it's wiped off, there's not a very obvious line between where it is more foundation and where it's less, if that makes sense. And that's the type of foundation I really ask for. And I have humble skin. I'm oily on the T-zone and normal on other places. And this works very nice for me. It doesn't make my skin feel more dry or oily. It's pretty balanced formula, and I can imagine myself using this in all season and all occasion. And there is no powder because I didn't buy any. Well, on the most part I didn't buy much powder at all because I'm trying to use up what I have. So the next one, I don't know where should I begin because it's all colored stuff. Maybe let's just start with eyeshadow. So this is the brand Daisique. I never know how to pronounce this brand. Daisique shadow palette in the shade 05 Sunset Muhley. And this is a very warm palette, but what I want to talk about is just the formula, not this particular color. The formula of the mattes are so smooth and so creamy, It's almost feel like you're applying cream eyeshadow, but it's not. And it just blends so effortlessly. But the pigmentation is more like sheer to medium, buildable. It never is a very, very pigmented eyeshadow. So if you have deeper skin or you like to do those very intense looks, I don't think this formula is for you. But for me, I just like the type of formula that's easy to control and easy to blend, which this is just perfect for me. And the glitter in this is so beautiful. I don't even think that the swatch can show how beautiful the glitter is. Like, it's so pretty. I just love the glitter and the matte powder formula. There's one thing that I really like about Korean makeup is that they written the expire date on the back of the packaging, and this is only gonna expire at 2026 June 11. So there's still like 2.5 years to go. It's like pretty long shelf life as well. I really like this one. Another, it's about this color, because this formula I have mentioned so many times is not new formula at all. It's SUQQU, the signature color eyes eyeshadow. I haven't bought that much from them for like a pretty long time when it comes to eyeshadow. The recent one I got is the only recent one in 2 years probably that I have bought is this limited edition, like only pre-order eyeshadow, which is what I am wearing today. It's 133 called Sun Sun. And I really like it. It's basically 4 glitters. But today I'm gonna talk about this, which is like launched so many years ago. I think it's 3 years at this point. It's their initial launch of this line. It's the shade 06, which I think I have mentioned in a couple videos before, that this is a color story that I find so beautiful, but I never know how to use. Recently, I put this in a project pan, and I finally figured out how to use this, and ever since then I can't stop wearing this. This is so good. I think previously when I want to use this palette, I just wasn't having the concept of SUQQU eyeshadows in mind. I think their eyeshadows in the most part is about the feel of it, not about actually like the color. What you see is the color that will show on your eyelid, if you know what I mean. So in this palette, if I try to make these 2 colors just the way it looks in the pan, it's not gonna work, at least on my skin tone or on my eyelids. So what I use this palette right now is I would use this brown all over my eyelid to give a definition. And this brown actually looks cooler on your eyes, so it's a true neutral, even leaning a little cool toned, mid-toned brown shade, which is very good, like pair with this palette perfectly. And it depends that day if I want this neutral palette to be just a touch warmer or a touch cooler. I will choose like one of these. So if I want the look to be a little bit warmer, I will choose this green shade that has a little bit golden shift. If I want it to be a little bit cooler, I just choose this like grayish navy type of color, and I just put this color on the corner of my eye to add a little bit, like just a hint of that like grunginess, but you know, on this side it's like a warmer, like more on the golden side, just a touch. And if I use this, it's like a cooler, more silvery, like gunmetal almost type of like feel to the eye. It's all like those grungy vibes, but it's like more subtle. And then I just put this color on the center of my eyelid, and I just love that look so much. It's like so chic, and it actually pairs well with a lot of other makeup. Also, you thought this palette would be like so dark, right? But if you just like carefully, or not even carefully, you just like normally don't be too aggressive with it, and like place this two color, like I said, on the outer corner of your eye to give a little bit color and a little bit more definition. And if you just put this on the center, it's not like a very deep dark look at all. So I just find before I was trying to do like a deep dark look with this, and that's why I often felt like it doesn't look good. And since I am doing that with this, I love this so much. Like I have been using it every day ever since, basically. This is the SUQQU Liquid Luster Eyes. It's their new cream eyeshadow formula, or maybe I should say liquid, but it's not that liquidy at all. It's like basically cream, but put in this type of packaging. This product, it's actually not for the majority of people, even if you are used to using cream eyeshadows, because I find this one doesn't work well if you put down a thick base under. It basically looks the best when you are only trying to do a very sheer and effortless look without much eyeshadow primer or like just other eyeshadows in general underneath. So basically I just have like almost my bare eyelid and some powder to set it down so it's not like too like oily from the skincare or anything. And I just put this on top and just some simple eyeliner and mascara. It's just like for a vibe. Have this like very sheer base and a very sheer glitter. Let me show you. This is like applied very opaquely. This is the shade, and I'm not talking about a specific shade, I'm just talking about this whole line. And the shade I have for right now is 03. And you can see if I just blend it, it's a very sheer base, and it has this sheer glitter throughout this formula as well. That's basically how you're gonna look on your eyelids. So if you like that, like, you know, clean girl type of makeup, which it's not what I am trying to go for, but I guess for me, I just want a sheer base color with a sheer layer of eyeshadow. And you know, the clean girl type of makeup sometimes is like that as well. So it's kind of like similar vibe. I just feel like if you really like that type, like a very sheer look without much underneath, you could be liking this. But if you're like someone really like intense eyeshadows, this is not for you. But I really like this because that's the way I do my makeup most times. And, actually, there's another also from SUQQU. Like I feel like half of the stuff today is from SUQQU, which is not a surprise actually. And this is the SUQQU Tone Touch Eyes. This is not a new formula as well, but I just feel like I fall in love with this formula again this year, and I have been using this a lot. I have been using the specific shade 108, which is limited edition, and this one I have today is the shade 12. It's a permanent shade. This is like a more intense version of their glitter compact in their eyeshadow quads. So if you like that type of formula, like the SUQQU glitters, but you just want it to be a little more intense, these are actually really nice. They're expensive, but the 108 one was in my eyeshadow project pan, and I have used that one so many times and I didn't even see like a slight dent into it. It's so densely packed. It's not hard to take product from it, but I sometimes it's so densely packed. There's so much stuff in it, I don't ever see myself finishing it. So I just feel like the price kind of is like makes sense because this is also a luxury brand. But yeah, I just really like this formula, the SUQQU eyeshadow formulas in general. Well, we are at SUQQU. Maybe I just should mention the last SUQQU product from today. It's their very sadly discontinued blush. It's their melting powder blush. And I have the shade 10. This is what I am wearing right now. I find in the winter I often use a lot of neutral leaning cool toned eyeshadows, and this is the color I am reaching for. I think these are just blending so nicely, like you can't see the like the border of the blush. It's blending so nicely with other stuff on my skin. This is so long wearing. I feel like blush is always the first thing to go on your face, right? But for me, this blush, after 4, 5, 6 hours, it's still on my skin. Like I apply my makeup 9, basically 9 in the morning, and basically 3 or 4 p.m. I look at the mirror, it's still on my skin. It's very long wearing, and it's pigmented, but it's not too pigmented, and it's easy to blend, and the powder is so fine, and there's no kick off at all. Like you see the packaging is so clean. I didn't clean it, it's just there's no kick off from this formula. It's so good. I think they have mentioned that they can't produce this because the supply chain issue of a specific ingredient that used in this formula, so they had to discontinue it, which I understand. If that's the case, it seems there's no other option other than, you know, discontinue it, other than just find a cheaper or worse ingredient which will make the formula worse. I don't want that to happen either, so maybe it's just the right way to discontinue it, right? I hope they can find a way that they can bring this formula back in another way. Yeah, I hope that's what's gonna coming from them in next year, because they really have this tendency to update their formula every couple years, and their blush formula, I think this was supposed to be an update, but you know, it got discontinued super quickly. So I'm guessing the next year they probably are gonna coming out some new formula, either for the eyeshadows or for the blushes. I think that's what I'm seeing from them in this year. I shouldn't say next year, this year, 2024. Everything I am mentioning today is Asian beauty brands, either Chinese beauty, Korean beauty, or Japanese beauty brand. There's not a single one that is from Western brand. I guess I just finally figured out Asian brand just works better for my skin, which makes sense. I am Asian, right? That being said, I am not gonna give up on all of the Western brands. I'm just feel like I probably gonna use Asian brands way more than before. Okay, another blush is this Romand Better Than Cheek, and I have the shade Pear Chip. But I'm not talking about the shade, I'm talking about this whole formula. This formula is just, I feel like a lot of Korean brands give me this same feeling, that their powders are just so easy to blend. Like it's almost like you don't even have to blend it, and it's so effortless, and the powder is so blurry. I actually really want this same formula but in a setting powder, like a no colored powder or skin colored powder that I can set my whole face, because this is just so blurring. And I never had like a bad blush day whenever I use this particular formula. I got 2 other shades because that's how I love it, and also the packaging is like very sturdy, and it's not that expensive either. I think it's under or yeah, it's under $10 if you buy it on sale. Yeah, I really recommend this. Just try to find a shade that complements your skin. And if you are near to somewhere that you can swatch it, definitely go swatch it, because I just find the shade is like often not the shade that you think it is on your skin, because this type of formula is like a sheer formula, so it just shows differently on your skin. For example, this one shows a little bit peachy on my skin, which this looks, I mean, on the camera it's kind of a little bit peachy, but in real life it's definitely just a skin color, like very close to my skin type of skin color. If this is just a touch like on the olive side, I probably thought that I could use this as like a setting powder. That's how it looks in real life. But yeah, on the cheeks is a little bit nudie pink and a little bit peach. It's hard to describe, so I recommend to swatch, or at least if you can't find somewhere to swatch, try to find someone that's close to your skin tone and see how the blush look like on their skin. I bought this because there is like a guy, he's East Asian, and I think his skin tone is probably very close to me. So this blush on my skin looks very close to how it looks on his skin. And I liked how it looked on his skin, and that's the reason why I bought it, right? So like it's a very successful purchase because I was referring to someone the skin tone is very close to me. And now it's the lips. First one is from Flower Nose, which this is a Chinese brand that is very popular on TikTok for the last year. And this is, I don't know exactly the name, but this is, I think it's their Mermaid series, and this is GE06. It's a like pinky shade. Let me find a place. And basically this is supposed to be like a lip gloss, but I find it's more like not a stain type of lip stain, which is very confusing to describe it in that way, but it doesn't really stain your lip in a way that nothing will take it off, but it does left a lot of color like behind this. When the shine fades, there's this layer of color that's left on your lips that's pretty long wearing, but it will come off if you try to wipe it or anything. That's why I really love this, because of the longevity of this one. Because a lot of times if it's a lip oil or a lip gloss, basically when the shine fades, the color also fades, right? So this one, after 1 or 2 hours when the shine fades, it's still left the color behind, but it's not like a stain, a tint. It's almost like when the shine fades, there's a long wearing matte lipstick left on lips. That's how it feels, and I really like this one. And the bottle is just so cute. And if I buy this in China, it's not that expensive either. I think I bought this probably like around $10, which for me this definitely worth the $10 price. I have another formula which looks like this. It's in their, I think it's in their like a unicorn collection. This one, even though I still like this formula, but it doesn't leave much color behind when the shine goes away. So it's more like the traditional typical type of gloss that when the shine fades, the color also is gone. So yeah, that's why I really prefer this one. Next 3 are all from the brand Peripera. This is a very famous gloss on the TikTok. It's the ink glasting lip gloss, and this is the shade 06. This is supposed to be a Clinique Black Honey dupe, which I don't have that one, but so I don't know if this is a dupe, but this is a very good formula. It's so thick, so moisturizing, and it's kind of long wearing, and the color is not too sheer. It's on the sheer side, but it's not like you buy 3 shades, the 3 shades don't look that much different on your lip. It's not in that way sheer. Each color still look very different, but you can see your own lips, so it's very forgiving on different skin tones. You can see there's definitely color, but it's just like not very opaque, which is the perfect amount color like in lip gloss. And these two are lip tints, even though I don't find this one tint your lip that much. But this is the, what is this? Water Bear tint, and I have shade 03. But this is not about the shade, it's about the formula. This is so watery and lightweight on your skin. It's not drying at all, and it's even a little bit moisturizing in a way. I really like this. Whenever I apply this, my lip don't feel dry, and at the same time it feels like nothing is on my lip. This is like how good it is, and I just love this formula a lot. And this one is their Mood something tint, and I have this shade 12, which is what I'm wearing right now. What I really like about this formula is very matte. It's like fully matte. Like I have something underneath, so maybe you can see a little bit shine on it, but if you just see it on my skin, it's like fully matte, right? And it doesn't move around, because a lot of times I find this moussey moisturizing type of matte formula moves around a lot, so I don't like that type of formula because I just feel like it gets everywhere. But this one is not a tint actually. It's called a tint, but it's not. It's just a moussey type of formula, but it stays in place. And it's so moisturizing, which is so weird because it's like truly just matte, but it really is very moisturizing. Whenever I use this, I don't feel like my lips is dry. I just forget about my lips because it feels like there's nothing on it, but it doesn't feel dry, which is kind of a miracle for me because I have never used this type of formula. A lot of times the lipstick is claiming that it's like a not dry matte formula, which I'm not saying they're lying, but it's more like they're just not drying at the best, but they are not moisturizing. So if there's nothing moisturizing on my lips are just naturally gonna feel dry, right? Those formulas is not making it worse, but at the same time it's not making it better. So my lips still feels dry. But for this formula, it just helps with the dryness of my lip. My lip is pretty dry. Not the driest, but on the drier side. I can't stand there's nothing moisturizing on my lips. I just have to have something that's moisturizing. And this is surprisingly moisturizing. Not to the point that it feels like a lip mask, of course, but it's just enough for me to forget about my lips, which is just perfect, right? And that's it about the lip category. I just feel like Peripera is such a good brand to find your lip formula, because I find everybody is talking about Romand, which I think their lip formula is good, but I just like Peripera better. I just feel like the shades are good, the formula is amazing, and the price is not that high either. And there are so many choices for you. And the last is actually tools. So last year I started to use makeup spatulas. I didn't think that I would like them because I see a lot of people, even though a lot of people say it actually works, and there are some other people says it doesn't really make that much of a difference. So whenever a product has this type or a technique has this type of review, I just feel like normally it wouldn't work on me. So I just don't want to pay any money for it, right? So I just pull out one of my own spatula and tried the technique, which is just put some foundation on your hand and you just slide your spatula and spread it on your face and then blend with your own like other tool like brush or sponge. And I just find this make such a difference that I am applying a very, very thin and even layer, so my foundation look less cakey. Because for my skin, even if I don't apply a lot, it can look heavy pretty quickly. Which is like, you know, not a strange thing because makeup will always look like makeup on your skin. It can never look just like your skin, right? But I just feel like this one definitely helps on my skin because my skin is not the smoothest. I have a lot of like big pores, so if I dare to apply too much, it just collects on the pores super quickly and look heavy. And I just feel like these spatulas definitely helped. I have a video of like this comparison of these three. If you're interested, you can try to watch that video. But basically, these two are from Picasso. I like both of them. This is the original one, the one that's super viral on TikTok like a couple months before. And this is the second one they had. I think this is for like a cushion foundation, like easy to get products to like scrape from the cushion. And this is just a random one that I had from Muhley. I think you can just try with something of this nature at home. If it actually works, you might can consider, do you want to like actually buy something that's specifically for this? And that is my 2023 makeup favorite. Surprisingly, it's kind of a lot for me, at least, because this is not my job. So my job is not like testing new makeup. For someone like me that has this amount of favorite, it actually feels good because I really feel like this year is a year that I actually enjoyed my collection, and I actually had a lot of things that I actually love and use and know added to my collection as well. I hope you had a good year in 2023 as well, and I hope you have a good year in 2024. And thank you so much for watching. I will have Project Pan like finale or end the 2024 Project Pan intro, and also a huge empty of like beauty products from like 2023. And I think I might even have more than 100 maybe empties in that video, so stay tuned and thank you for watching again. Bye.